Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
That's what I'm talking about. All of our guests today brought to you by our poll question sponsor, the Waddling Dog. And that includes Ross Tucker, who joins us now from the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, CBS Sports, and Westwood One. Thanks for doing this, sir. How are you? And early happy Thanksgiving down in the States.
My pleasure. Early happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Do you always have Steve Nash behind you, Donnie? I feel like I haven't noticed that before.
No, we rotate it. We rotate our photos in behind. Steve Nash is from Victoria, which is on Vancouver Island. Proud Canadian, Steve Nash.
That is so impressive. I mean, dude, he was was he two-time MVP?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh yeah.
He must have killed it in the Victoria Island pickup games. Can you imagine?
Okay, I have to correct you. Vancouver Island, Victoria is the city, and he was, you know what, Ross? Much like yourself, great basketball player, great lacrosse player, great rugby player. This is in high school. He did it all.
Wait. I think I had heard that he was a good soccer player. He played rugby?
Soccer, too.
He played rugby, soccer, lacrosse. He did it all. Soccer. Lacrosse is big up here.
Wow, that's interesting about the lacrosse and that he played rugby. A, that lacrosse is big up there, and B, that he played rugby. I love it. See, now I have information I can use. That'll come up at some point in the rest of my life, and I'll use it.
And he's talked a little bit about how he was almost as good a high school point guard as Ross Tucker.
Yeah.
Sure, he was way, way, way better.
But I love that you played point guard because, like you always say, people think offensive linemen, they're just big. What do? They're great athletes. I don't have to tell you that. Hey, Eagles over the Rams, 37-20. You described the Eagles as scary good. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, right now they are. I think they have the best roster in the NFL for probably the second time in the last 3 years. I don't know, maybe they did last year too, but you watch the way they dominate up front, both sides of the ball. I mean, think of it this way, right? They have a top 5 wide receiver duo in A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, if not the best. Top 5 tight end in Dallas Goedert. Top 5 offensive line, if not the best. Top 5 running back, if not the best. Quarterback, I don't know if Jalen Hurts has been a top 5 quarterback this year, but certainly I would say feels like he's comfortably in the top 10, especially with how he's played since the bye. Then defensively, they've had the best defense in the NFL since the bye. So if every guy or every position group on offense is top 5 or better, and your defense is top 5 or better, it's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty good. Now, Jake Elliott missed some kicks against the Commanders, but he was good against, they have a really, really good team right now. And it's also, it's fun for me because it's like the perfect marriage of having an awesome offensive line with an elite running back. You watch them late in these games, and you can just start to feel it. You can feel like, ooh, he's going to break one again. He's going to break one now. And I think the whole offense feels it, which is why they're all blocking their you-know-what's off, because they know it's just different when you have a running back that can take it the distance anytime you give them a hole. Everybody wants to make sure they're doing their part. They get the block downfield so he can have another long touchdown run.
255 yards rushing for Saquon Barkley against the Rams. He leads the NFL in rushing yards. Ross, I'm looking here. The last running back to be named MVP, Adrian Peterson, way back in 2012. Is Saquon Barkley a strong – I know there are other candidates, but is he a strong MVP candidate?
He's a candidate, and I would say he's a strong candidate. I don't envision him winning it because I do think as the Eagles clinch the NFC East and move forward, I think they'll try to reel back the touches a little bit, right? I mean, they're not in the business of trying to win Saquon Barkley the MVP. They're trying to win the Super Bowl, and they're good enough to do it. They want to make sure he's fresh, healthy, ready to roll. And by the way, he would say the same thing. I mean, that's what he wants also. If the MVP comes as a result of that, that's great. But if they're clinching things early, that I don't even know if he'll play in the last game. And I would also think that, especially after this Ravens game, when you look at the rest of their schedule, that they will probably try to start to dial back a little bit on some of these touches he's getting, because he's gotten a lot already this year.
Ross, the NFC West, what a crazy division. The Seahawks are at the top, 49ers at the bottom. I don't even know what to predict the rest of the way. Who could possibly come out of that division in your eyes, Ross?
If by top and bottom you mean the Seahawks are 6-5 and the Niners are 5-6, then yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then yes, Rick, top and bottom of the division. You know what? The Niners, they're being saved right now by their division. If they were in other divisions, the Niners, they would be in a bad way. They still are in a bad way. I'll be calling their game Sunday night on Westwood 1 radio in Buffalo. They still are in a bad way, but because their division has been so middling at best, it's kind of the kindest word I could use, the Niners still very much have a chance. I think everyone believes they have the personnel, the talent, the ability that if they were able to get into the postseason, they could go on a run, but they got to start it at some point. That was a super impressive win for your Seahawks. Yep. You know, I did not think that they would do that again after the thrilling victory over the Niners. To them come back and play that way defensively, where the Seahawks defense outscored the Cardinals. Man, you guys have the right coach up there. I said it when you got him in Mike McDonald, and I think he's proven that. Certainly, again, I think over the last couple weeks.
Ross, who's a hotter mess right now, the Giants or the Jets? Every week it's chaos on the field, off the field, stories. Now the Giants players saying we're too soft. Aaron Rodgers, medical issues. Who's a hotter mess there in New York?
You know, I can almost hardly believe I'm saying this, but I think it's the Giants. You know, the Jets, they tried everything they could. It didn't work. Their season's done, and they're already moving on, right? They're already looking for the next GM, looking for the head coach, trying to get the jump on trying to get a regime that can turn this thing around for the Jets. The Giants, meanwhile, everything last week with Daniel Jones was kind of awkward. You know, he's benched, then he's fourth string, then he asks for his release, then he gets released. I mean, it's just awkward for the Giants. Then you've got players basically saying, well, they're giving up on the season. Why shouldn't we? You know, because if they're going to bench the guy they think gives them the best chance to win over a $23 million injury guarantee, what about those other guys that have to go out there and play every week? I thought it was a bad sign and a bad message to send the rest of the locker room. Evidently, so did they with their comments. And you got a rookie Neighbors calling him out after the game.
That's right.
I don't get the ball till we're down 30-0. It's ugly for the Giants right now. The Jets have already kind of gotten past the ugly stage, and they moved on to like the healing, or the next step. Whereas the Giants, they're right in the middle of the mud right now.
Just before we get to my front page story, Aaron Rodgers, can you envision him returning to the Jets next season?
Absolutely not. That would be a shocker. There's no way a new head coach or GM would want that. The real question is whether or not anyone will want Aaron Rodgers, and the answer is probably. That there will probably be one city where the GM and/or head coach are on the hot seat, and their options are some journeyman quarterback, the 8th pick in the draft, go that route with a rookie that may or may not be able to get done, or give old Aaron Rodgers, one last spin. And I think someone will try that if Aaron Rodgers is up for it.
If Aaron Rodgers signs elsewhere next season, that would be a front page story, which leads us to my front page story. Christmas just around the corner, Ross.
Oh, yeah.
You guys know how I feel about this. Yeah. I'm just saying right now, everyone do me a favor. Go check out myfrontpagestory.com on your phone or your iPad or your laptop, okay? It is by far the best gift you could ever give a loved one, but in particular, your parent or grandparent. I'm like on a mission, guys, for every person to get one of these written about them before it's too late, before they pass away. What's the fun in it then, right? Give it to them now so that your grandparents, your parents can have it hanging up in their house and enjoy it and read it, and they'll love it. And then even when they are gone, then you can have it as a keepsake, way better than any obituary out there. At a minimum, go to myfrontpagestory.com, throw your email address in there. The thing will pop up. You'll get an immediate discount of like, I don't know, if it's 20% off or something. And then either order it for the holidays or save that coupon code. They'll probably email you before Valentine's Day or Mother's Day or whatever. I'm a big fan. You guys know that. I have been for a while. And I really want as many of the seniors in particular to get these because I want them to read the quotes from their family telling them how great they are, how much they mean to them while they're still alive. MyFrontPageStory.com, MyFrontPageStory.com.
Ross, happy Thanksgiving again. We'll talk to you in a week.
Sounds great. See you guys.
You bet.
Adios.
Ross Tucker Football Podcast, CBS Sports, and Westwood 1.